Hi everyone, Jay here with Libertas Inner Strength Training, and today I want to talk to you about what has to be one of the most common subjects that comes up while working with men, which is going to be romantic relationships. How do we engage in them in a healthy way before, during, and after, and do so from a place of inner strength instead of a place of inner weakness? To cover this subject, we're going to break it up into three parts. First, we're going to discuss what it means to be coming at something from a place of inner strength instead of inner weakness. Second, we're going to look at how this plays out in regards to giving versus taking in relationships. And third, we're going to look to see how this plays out in real life. If you're trying to date someone, what does that look like coming from a place of inner strength? If you're in a relationship with someone, what does it mean to be coming at it from a place of inner strength? And finally, if something has happened that you have to go your separate ways, whatever it may be, how do you engage with that from a place of inner strength? So to cover the first topic, inner strength versus inner weakness. The foundation of inner strength is really having a bulletproof relationship with yourself. That comes from a place that says, I am inherently strong. I can handle whatever comes my way. I don't need to try to control the future or control really anything because I know that I can innately handle it. I don't need to put a shield over me or armor over me before I go out into the world. I can enter the world as myself. I don't have to wear any mask. I am me because I'm enough. I'm already inherently worthwhile. And I trust in my innate strength to handle whatever comes my way. Inner weakness is not the same thing. Inner weakness comes from a totally different place that says I am weak. I don't have what it takes to be someone who's strong. I'm inherently frail. I need to protect myself. And when we see defense mechanisms or defense reactions from animals, it comes down to three things. You either fight, you freeze, or you flee. If we're coming at life from a place of inner weakness and we want to fight, a lot of times this means going on the offensive. We're going to try to knock someone else down so that they can't become a threat to us. We'll cut them down. We could do it physically, emotionally, mentally. This is where bullying comes from. This is where a lot of violence comes from. Is just I feel weak. I see you as a threat and I need to neutralize you as a threat. So I'm going to go on the offensive. The second one is freezing. And this is something a lot of us do, where we just kind of sit tight, hold our breath, hope no one sees us, and hope that the situation just passes on by. Sometimes, if this is going to be something that happens in a relationship, maybe we're not really engaging with it. We want the other person to call the shots. We don't really want to put ourselves in the line. We don't really want to be vulnerable ourselves. And so we just wait to see what happens, what's going to happen. And the last one is flee. And everyone knows what flee means. There's a wall. We're going to engage in something until we come to that wall. But once we hit that wall, we're done. Some reason, it's usually a reason that's not really that great, is going to cause the end of a relationship or the end of some connection. And I'm just going to move on to the next thing. I don't have the ability or the interest to be vulnerable, to be emotionally open, to really let you see me because I don't want you to see me. I don't think, if I'm coming at it from a place of fear, I have a lot of doubts about me. I think who I am inside is not really that great. So I don't want anyone else to see it. So if I'm in a relationship or if I'm in a connection with someone and they're connecting with me at that level, I'm going to react and I'm going to run. So if we're looking at it, inner strength versus inner weakness, it's what assumption are we bringing to the table about ourselves when we walk out the door, whenever we are talking to someone else, whether it be a romantic engagement, a professional one, a personal one, something with our family, our friends, what assumption do we have about ourselves as we walk forward? If that assumption is that I can handle whatever comes my way, I'm already inherently worthwhile, and there's nothing else I need from the world, everything I need is within me, then I'm coming at this from a place of inner strength. If instead I'm coming at this from a place that says, I don't think that I have it in me. I need to find it. I need to take it. I need to find this protection somewhere or come at this from a place of protection because I don't think I am able to take whatever comes my way. I don't think I can handle the twists and turns of life. So I need to take control. I need to be rigid. I need to be, tight and fixated like this. So we have to ask ourselves, what is the assumption we carry about ourselves as we walk out the door? So moving on to part 2, giving versus taking. If I'm approaching life, and in this case approaching relationships, from a place where I don't think I have enough, if I'm approaching from a place of fear and weakness, that I'm broken, that I don't have whatever I need is within me, I need to find it externally in the world, I'm going to engage every relationship from the standpoint of taking. Because I don't have it, so I need to go out into the world and find it. I need to go and discover who out there is going to complete me, is going to make me whole, is going to make me feel good about myself, because I don't believe that I have the power to do that for myself. So every relationship, but especially romantic ones, are going to be about me finding my worth, about me finding someone that, trophy wives, trophy husbands, this whole type of thing, that I can say, look at what I have, and because I have this, that makes me worthwhile. So we engage relationships from a place of taking. What's in this for me? What is in this that I can take to validate myself and take for myself? Now, if I'm approaching it from a place of inner strength, totally different approach. Because everything I need is already within me. I don't need to take anything else from the world. I'm here to give. I'm here to express, because I'm already complete. So if I'm engaging with someone, whether it be romantically or otherwise, I'm doing so as myself. And I'm saying, how can I bring myself out into this situation? If I'm engaging with someone romantically from a place of giving, it's giving my time, giving my undivided attention, giving my full support, giving my full self, which for most of us is one of the most terrifying things we can do. To show up naked as ourselves and say, this is who I am. I offer it on a table. It is what it is. And to put ourselves out there in that way, where that can feel really risky. That can feel like it's making us be way too vulnerable. But that's what giving is. Giving is saying, because someone who's coming at giving from a place of inner strength knows that even if I put myself out there and it doesn't turn out well, I get rejected or whatever, that doesn't say anything about who I am, because I already know who I am. I'm already connected with myself. I'm already fine. So I can risk, because it's not a real risk. So if we're looking at giving, it's what can I bring to this? What can I add to this? Because I'm already complete. There's nothing else I need to take. So moving on to part 3. What does this look like in real life? For better or worse, whenever we think of romance and we think of movies or music, and we constantly hear these themes of you complete me, you're my other half, you're the part of me I didn't have before. These things which sound nice, they sound very flowery, but from like a mental health perspective and from an inner strength perspective, that is not what we want to have happening at all. Two people who are already whole, 1 + 1, will always add up to be more than a half versus a half. I don't want to show up as someone in need, because now we're talking about codependence. Now we're talking about trying to prove something to myself and to others, and we're so very much going down that rabbit hole of fear and of weakness, which is not where most of us want to be. So, if you're dating, if you're single and you're out there and you're trying to meet people or whatever, what this would look like in real life is, before you walk into whatever venue you're walking into, reminding yourself and knowing to yourself, and knowing, not just knowing, but truly experiencing the knowing, viscerally feeling it, not just saying, okay, I'm already complete, but in the back of your head you're saying, nah, not really. Really sitting with that thought and owning it. Maybe even closing your eyes briefly and just feeling what it feels like to be totally complete. And then engaging, walking into the bar or the club or going to class or wherever you are. The main thing though is going to be that you are not approaching this trying to find something. You're approaching this trying to give yourself openly and see who out there responds to it positively. Now, if you're in a relationship, what does this mean? Well, two things. First off, this is going to mean, like, emotionally, you're going to have to be open. You will have to be available and be vulnerable in that way. And I'm using that word vulnerable because that's, most of us say, emotional vulnerability. Really, that's not the phrase we should be using. Instead, a better one would be to say emotionally honest. To say, you know what, this does bother me, or this is something I'm dealing with in my life right now. And being able to express it and say, these are the feelings I have about it. This is who I am. So many of us, especially for men, we feel like, there's kind of this very tiny spectrum that we can fit within emotionally, where we can be really pissed off, that's all okay, anger's okay, frustration's okay. We can be kind of neutral and kind of cool and detached and collected. And there's like this smaller area of positivity where we feel too. But, this is this tiny block in this vast spectrum that all humans have. It's not about being emotionally vulnerable, it's about being emotionally honest. What bothers you? What doesn't bother you? What do you like? What don't you like? What do you wish you did more? What do you wish you did less? Being able to communicate those things openly and fluidly, because you know that nothing's really at risk anyway. Now, if, the second part of this, and really this is something that probably even fits in with the first part, is physically. Having sex with someone, making love with someone, whatever it may be, wherever you are in your relationship. How do you do that from a place of giving instead of taking? Are you there to give pleasure to the other person and fulfill those other person's physical, emotional needs? Or are you just there to try to find something for yourself that you can't provide for yourself, that you need someone else there for? Again, what is the intention and assumption you're bringing about yourself to the act that you're about to engage in? Whether it is having sex with someone or making love to your partner, what intention are you bringing to this? What is your purpose for doing this? Is it to give or is it to take? And if you're making love and you're doing something that's more emotionally connected, are you able to really open up and put yourself in that place of simultaneous vulnerability and courage? Or as we should maybe refer to it, transparency and honesty, and be totally open. And are you giving that person your full attention? Really, at the end of the day, the best and biggest thing any of us can give to anyone else is ourselves and our time. To fully give ourselves to another, without any strings attached or any expectations. Because that's really the only way to give, is to give without the assumption of getting something, definite in return. So finally, we come up to what happens after a relationship. Let's say that, something doesn't really work out, and for whatever reason you split. Doesn't really matter who called it, who formed it, what circumstances we're under. The point is, it's now done. The question is, how are you defining yourself from this point on? Are you letting this situation define you as a person? To say, I did have self-worth before. I did have a identity before as this person's partner. Or, and now that's lost. Or are you just saying, for better or worse, this wasn't meant to be. But that doesn't make any statement about me and who I am. Are you able to maintain that assumption, that core key assumption that I am inherently strong, I'm already complete, There's nothing else I need. Everything is within me. I'm already worthwhile and I am whole. Can you own that and keep that? If you can, then you are engaging with this from a place of inner strength, and this journey will be a lot easier for you. If you can't, chances are you're going to do what a lot of people do, which is rebound, try to find, people to hook up with, and do all of these things, which really at the end of the day, are you just trying to validate yourself to yourself? To make an argument in your head that says, wait, no, I did this, and this. I should feel good. I should feel great. That's not how this works. Our minds are, we are not, creatures that just look at a list and say, oh, well, that's a great argument. Oh, yeah, I feel totally fine and different now. It's not how this works at all. None of us will ever find the meaning that we want in life outside of ourselves. It's a choice. It's something that we choose to believe and choose to engage from. It's a place that we start from, not a place that we find. So I hope this has been helpful. Please feel free to send any comments my way or feedback. Check us out on our website, libertusproject.com, and leave some feedback and comments there, and I'll be happy to respond to you. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. Thanks, everyone. Take care.